Hello, welcome to the 7 Minutes of Science end of year special, in which I'm going to run you through my 7 heroes of science this year. We're not going to be doing this on the clock, a little Christmas treat to myself. The fact that I am awake and alive and able to talk at this point is nothing short of a miracle, seeing as this is, I think, day 4 of what can best be described as the I don't have to go back to work till January binge. Anyway, so without further ado, let's start off. First, I want to talk about Dr. Matt Taylor, the man who landed a probe on a comet. And a fantastic wearer of just fantastic shirts. Born in the early 1970s in London's Manor Park, in the east or wrong part of London. I myself am also from East London, so I'm allowed to say that, especially because I'm one of the good bits. Romford represent. He then left East London to go somewhere worse, i.e. Liverpool, where he went off to university, before coming back to London to go to Imperial College and get a PhD in space physics, which is one of the best names of a subject you can possibly get. He then joined the Mullard Space Science Laboratory as a cluster research fellow. He is the author of 70 papers, which is 70 more than most of us, and in 2013 he landed the job of project scientist on the Rosetta mission. Now, I've chosen to include him on this list because, despite all adversity that afflicted the Rosetta mission, he still oversaw one of the crowning human achievements in human history. To put it in perspective, Comet 67P is about 4 kilometres across. It's hurtling through space at around 130,000 kilometres per second. It's remarkable that we even found the damn thing. And yet we launched a probe, swung it round the sun, out into the solar system to the comet, up with its flight path, orbited it, launched a probe which landed down, and then that lander got us some completely unique scientific data that we've never seen before. Absolutely phenomenal, completely amazing, fantastic work. Dr. Matt Taylor is, as far as I'm concerned, a scientific hero. And anybody who thinks that just because of the fact that he wore a shirt you didn't like, he should be made to cry, go to hell. Don't watch my show. Go away. But cheers, Dr. Matt Taylor, for doing something truly phenomenal. That's for you. Next up, we're going with more sombre tone, Michael Aylesbury. Those who regularly watch this show, hello to both of you. Will remember that I covered the tragic explosion of Virgin Galactic's Spaceship 2. Which killed co-pilot Michael Aylesbury. Now, I want to talk about Michael Aylesbury because he died in the pursuit of science and a better world. Aylesbury had been a plane nut since childhood and went on to graduate from California Polytechnic State University with a bachelor degree in science and aeronautical engineering. In 2001, he joined the Scaled Composites, and in 2001 he began working as a project engineer and pilot. So basically, this man had the same day job as Green Lantern, which is pretty cool. I'm of course referring to the Green Lantern comics. I don't want to smear a great man who's tragically passed away with the Green Lantern movie. That was terrible. Anyway, in April 2013, he worked on the first powered test flights of this new wave of commercial space travel, and in 2013 he received the Ray E. Tenoff Award for the most outstanding technical paper at the Society of Experimental Test Pilots Symposium. I did not know that society existed prior to researching the story, and now it is my only goal in life to join it. Then, in October of this year, tragedy struck and Spaceship 2 exploded in flight, killing Aylesbury. Aylesbury survived by his wife and 2 children. I want to say one simple thing about the tragic loss of an incredible human being. All through human history, great people have been willing to put their life on the line for many things. Religion, ideology, economic doctrines, a ruler, a nation, a personality to which they've become attached. And of course for love, that's the big one really. But for me, there's nothing nobler than risking everything to help make the world a better place. And the push for scientific knowledge and tools that use that knowledge is a huge part of that. And for that, I salute Michael Aylesbury. Third up, I'm already going to start to cheat. Curiosity. Yeah, it's a robot, not a person. I know, I'm terrible. It's my show, and the thing has its own Twitter account. It's better at keeping up to date on Twitter and social media than I am, so Anyway, the Robot King of Mars, and if you can successfully refute that title, I will stop using it, but until such point as you can, I think it's fair. Spent most of the year trundling towards Mount Sharpside, primary target of its surface scientific mission. But even at that time, we got tons of great photos of landscapes, pictures of Mars, comets, all sorts of incredible images that came out from the Curiosity rover this year. When it finally reached Mount Sharp, its study of the geology proved that that mountain could have only been formed by standing water over a long period of time, millions of years. This in turn is evidence that there was a water cycle to keep the lake topped up, which in itself is evidence for large bodies of standing water for longer periods of time, oceans, lakes, seas, things like that. It caps off an already sterling year, in which it contributed more to science than most squishy meat bags ever have, with the recent discovery of methane spikes in the atmosphere that could mean there is microbial life there on Mars. Now, we're going to send a second probe up to check this in 2020, but if it turns out to be true, well done, Curiosity, you found life on another planet. So the Robot King of Mars, huzzah to you, good sir. Next up, I want to talk about Professor Jeffrey Reisman. Everything worth knowing about life can be learned from the TV show Archer.
Oh my God! You killed a hooker!
Call girl!
No,
she was
Cyril, when they're dead, they're just hookers!
Especially the importance of the precious gift of legs.
Oh, blow me.
Why? You couldn't feel it.
Also, I know that some people who watch this are aware of the Drunk Festival creation and leg joint got knee law. Basically what I'm driving at here is that not being able to walk sucks epic dog cock. There's not many people throughout history who can claim to have restored the gift of walking to people. Very, very few. And the number drops sharply as well if you cut out any mythological homophobes. I'm not going to go off on the tangent about religion. Instead, I'm going to talk and applaud the work of Professor Jeffrey Reisman. Born in 1939, he later attended Oxford University and is currently, at the age of 75, Chair of Neural Regeneration at the University College London's Institute of Neurology. This year, he led the team that restored the damaged spinal cord in Darek Fidica, and now he is showing real improvement, and with enough physiotherapy, who knows what could happen. A man can walk again. And it's the result of a team led by a man who has devoted his life to working on something that's only possible use is to make a world better place for people that need it most. So, thanks, Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
I'm sorry, I really couldn't resist that. Okay, next up I want to talk about Carolyn Porco. This lady is one of the coolest people you've probably never heard of. Born in 1953, she got her BS from the State University of New York at Stony Brook in 1974. And received their PhD in 1983 from Caltech in Geological and Planetary Sciences. The same year, received their PhD. She received this PhD. She took 2 jobs, one at the University of Arizona and one working Carl Science Jesus Sagan as part of the Voyager imaging team. She was involved in taking this photo, which is the furthest picture ever taken of the Earth and inspiration for Sagan's pale blue dot speech. However, we're interested in the last year. In recent times, we've seen Carolyn take over the Cassini mission, and last year she decided to use her position to try and beat that picture with this one. This is a picture of Saturn, but if we zoom in here, you can see not just the Earth, but also the Moon. Pretty cool, right? When it gets cooler, they announced that this photo would be taken ahead of time. This was a project called The Day the Earth Smiled, where people went outside, looked in the direction of Saturn, and smiled and waved to the camera whilst contemplating our place in the cosmos. This year has also seen the release of a ton of beautiful photos, as well as a ton of insight into Saturn and its moons. She wants to get a probe to Enceladus to check the water that gets shot out by its vents for life. This lady is just top to toe awesome. One of my favourite people on Earth. So here's to Caroline. May you long continue to explore space for us. Next up, Ebola. I'm not saying Ebola's a scientific hero, but I couldn't pick an individual person from what's been going on. I think it would have been petty to try. The bottom line here is at the moment, The world of medicine is seeing an incredibly virulent disease. Something terrible is happening. And the reaction has been good. It's been positive. It's been people working together. It's been scientists pushing for bigger advances. It's been breakthroughs. It's been cures. It's been containment. We're constantly hearing stories about pandemics, bird flu, swine flu, this kind of thing. We hear it a lot in the news. And it's very easy to forget that none of that has ever actually happened yet. The last time anything like that happened a long time ago was the Spanish flu. But Ebola is something that is happening now. It is affecting a lot of people. And it could be a lot worse. But there's a lot of people on that front line who are fighting this, who are working hard against it. And that's incredible to me. That's why I want to give a shout out to everybody who's working in this. For me, it's like, yeah, Doomsday may have destroyed Metropolis, but look, the Justice League have formed now. You know, I know that it's terrible, I know it's something bad, but it's wonderful to see this kind of concerted response being launched to a threat that could be dangerous, and it gives me hope that in the future maybe we'll react like this to other serious disease threats, and it ensures the human race's survival a little longer. So, thanks for turning the tide on that microscopic bastard. Right, next up is another one I'm pretty certain you guys wouldn't have heard of. This is Kostas Bortsis. Now, unlike people who pretend to be people in films, scientists are not important. That's why I can't get on Google and find every single detail about Kostas Bortsis. I can find out what Jennifer Lawrence had for dinner yesterday if I wanted, but no, not Kostas Bortsis. What I can tell you is that he led the team this year that successfully sequenced the DNA of the Tsetse fly. If you're unaware of the tsetse fly, then you can consider yourself much luckier than the people of sub-Saharan Africa. The tsetse fly, or rather a microorganism that it carries, causes African sleeping sickness. Terrible disease. There's 36 countries in which this is found. It threatens millions of people as well as millions of animals. This can happen to livestock as well, which means that food security is very dangerous. Now, the microorganism itself is basically evolved to flip mammalian immune systems the finger as it sails straight by, so there's not a lot you can do to them. But Kostas Bortsis and his team, at the end of a 10-year-long, multi-million-dollar effort, have managed to fully sequence the DNA of the tsetse fly. This opens up the way to things like tsetse fly specific pesticides, things of that nature. So it's a really interesting breakthrough. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is it's not cool, it's not flashy, sequencing tsetse fly DNA for 10 years of your life. Doesn't get you the big accolades, it doesn't get you a Brian Cox TV show, but it does make the world a better place for the people that you're working for. And that's brilliant. And really that for me is what science is about. It's about not doing something because it directly benefits you, even the prizes and the money, so it might be good for some people who do this kind of thing, but really what it's about is trying to make sure that the next generation have some answers to some questions so that they can ask some different questions. And in this one, it's the question of how do we get rid of African sleeping sickness? And if that's a very good question that we'd like to ask and get the answer to, this is a step in that direction. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. There's no timer or anything this week, so I don't think it's not there, is it? It's kind of weird, actually. I'm used to it being there. You might think that's an after effect. It's not. I have a clock that I hire in. But thank you very much for watching. I apologise for being kind of rambly, but this is what happens when you don't put me on the clock. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching us throughout the year so far. This has been a real joy to do. I can't express how much I appreciate the admittedly very small amount of support I've been getting from a tiny group of people. But you're awesome to a tiny group of people, and I love each and every one of you. Assuming none of you is like a rapist or something. If you are, then that's not aimed at you. I'm going to stop talking now. Merry Christmas from 7 Minutes of Science. And we will see you in the new year. To let you know, there will not be a 7 Minutes of Science going up the first weekend of the new year. Very unlikely there's going to be any more news. And I will be dead, because I do New Year's properly. So, once again, that's all from me. And good luck in your... Until I say... Oh, wow, I can edit this. Oh. So, for the last time of the year, good luck in your endeavours. If your endeavours be good, goodbye.